Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going deep, really deep into something, and I think you're going to find it fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's all about, well, have you ever thought about, like, what makes someone truly magnetic, like their personality?
It's funny you should mention that. That's actually what we're diving into today.
Perfect. And you guys gave us an amazing mix of sources to help us out.
Yeah.
Napoleon Hill, Shakespeare.
That's quite a combo.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one.
It is a cool mix. And you know what it tells me? I think it shows that, well, someone out there you listening doesn't just want to attract people. They want to have a real positive impact, you know?
It's true. It's about making a difference. And speaking of impact, Napoleon Hill, he wrote almost 100 years ago, but his stuff is still so spot on.
It's amazing, right?
Totally. And one of the first things that just jumped out at me was how he goes right to the heart of it. He's not talking about like superficial charm. It's character.
Yeah, he cuts right to the chase.
He even says, flat out, you may wear the best and latest clothes, but if there is greed and envy in your heart, you will never attract anyone except those who are the same.
Whoa. Right, like that's Hill right there. And it's like he was predicting the whole, emotional intelligence thing. You can't fake it. People can tell if you're genuine.
Can't fake real connection, for sure.
So if you're listening and you want to really make a difference, start by looking inside yourself.
Look inward first.
Yeah.
Okay, no shortcuts. And he doesn't just tell you to be a good person. He gives you like an actual plan. 7 steps to build this powerful personality.
He was all about practical advice.
We probably won't get to all 7 today, but some of them are so perfect for what you, the listener, are trying to do. Like one that I thought was so interesting was about giving praise. Not just flattery, but, really seeing the good in people and saying it.
It's funny, when you think about it, giving genuine praise, it helps both people, the person giving it and the person getting it. Think about it. Someone gives you real praise, how do you feel?
Awesome, obviously.
Yeah. But the person giving the praise, they're reinforcing that positive feeling in themselves too. So you're helping someone else, you're helping yourself. It's a win-win.
I love it. It's like a good vibe ripple effect.
Yeah.
And actually, that leads me to another one of Hill's steps. It was mastering your voice. Okay, he was writing when radio was the big new thing. But his point about having a voice that's strong but also pleasant, I mean, that's even more true today, don't you think?
With podcasts and everything, totally.
Yeah, like our voices is how we connect with people, how we persuade them, how we inspire them.
It's true. And it's not about like taking voice lessons, although those could help, I guess. What Hill meant was the confidence behind the voice.
Owning your strengths,
Yes.
being authentic.
Exactly. Think of anyone you're drawn to. They usually speak with conviction, don't they?
Yeah, you can just tell they believe what they're saying. Okay, now get this. Hill has this analogy about the mind. It's a bit out there. He compares your subconscious mind to like the sensitive plate in an old camera. It's recording everything. And the conscious mind, that's this shutter, letting things in or not.
Interesting.
But then he says autosuggestion, like focusing your thoughts, that's the lens. And wait for it, infinite intelligence develops the picture.
Whoa. Okay, break that down for us. That's a lot.
It is.
Okay, well, what I get from it, and it's really powerful, is that we have so much control over our own minds, over, what we become. Hill is saying we can choose to think about success, to focus on our goals, and that's what will grow.
Like curating your own mental museum. So we get to decide what's on display in our minds. Okay, but I'm curious, how does Shakespeare fit into all of this? Why did you pick Mark Antony's speech from Julius Caesar, the one at Caesar's funeral? It's brilliant, but what does it have to do with personality?
It's all about persuasion. And this speech, Mark Antony is the master, showing us how it's done. Remember, he's talking to people who hate Caesar. They're against him.
It's a friend.
And he wins them over, totally. So what can we learn from him? It's about connecting with people emotionally, making them think an idea is theirs. Even how he uses pauses, it all matters.
So be mindful of how you speak.
And remember, persuasion is powerful. Use it responsibly.
Absolutely. Okay, now back to Hilly. One thing that really stood out to me was how much he valued being agreeable. Like he even says he would drive miles out of his way just to do business with people he liked.
Yeah, that was Hill. He valued real connection.
It's about finding your people. But then he contrasts that with, Napoleon, who was powerful but ended up alone and disliked.
Right, and that's the point. Power means nothing if you don't have genuine connection. It all comes back to character. You can't fake integrity. You have to be it.
You have to walk the walk.
Yes, and that's not easy. How do we even know what the right thing is anymore with so much information, so much pressure?
it can feel impossible to know what to believe.
Well, Hill would probably say we need to develop what he called accurate thinking. Back then, it meant being able to tell truth from lies, especially with all the gossip and fake news. But today,
Today, it's 100 times harder.
it is. We're bombarded with information. And actually, Hill has this story. It's about a mine manager. He could have kept quiet about a problem, saved himself, but he spoke up, risked his job to do what was right.
So he chose integrity. What happened?
He got promoted. It shows that sometimes doing the right thing, even if it's scary, pays off. But the question is, how do we even know what the right thing is?
It's tough, right? Like with all the noise online, who do you trust? What do you believe?
It's about being careful, being thoughtful. Hill was a big fan of John D. Rockefeller, now I know, controversial guy, but he was amazing at cutting through all the BS and seeing what really mattered.
Getting to the heart of it. So it's like we need to be as careful about what we let into our minds as we are about what we eat.
Exactly. Choose your mental diet wisely.
And speaking of our minds, Hill doesn't just talk about absorbing information. He also says we need creative thought. He thought it could, like, take our thinking to a whole new level.
It was about using our imagination, our creativity, to come up with solutions, to understand things more deeply.
He even thought it helped you connect to, he called it infinite intelligence.
He believed that we all have this incredible potential within us, and that by tapping into our imagination, we could access a higher intelligence.
Okay, I'm following. But how is that different from just, regular thinking?
Well, Hill thought creative thought was special, like it connected you to something bigger. He even connected it to the power of autosuggestion, like when you focus your thoughts, you plant seeds in your subconscious, and this infinite intelligence helps them grow.
So we're like co-creating with the universe.
Kind of, yeah. Hill believed the subconscious just accepts whatever we feed it, good or bad. So if we keep thinking about limits and doubts, that's what will grow.
So garbage in, garbage out, but for our minds.
That's it. Be careful what you feed your mind, both mentally and emotionally, to give those creative thoughts space to grow.
So it all goes back to that camera analogy, right? We control the lens, we choose what to focus on.
It does. Hill took it even further, saying that infinite intelligence is like the developer, bringing the image to life.
I'm starting to see the whole picture. Our subconscious is like this giant storehouse of potential. Our conscious mind is the gatekeeper, autosuggestion sets our goals, and then this infinite intelligence helps us achieve them.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it that way.
It is, and it makes me think about people like George Eastman, the guy who founded Kodak. He totally revolutionized photography.
And he wasn't even a scientist. He dropped out of high school. But he had this passion for making photography easy for everyone.
And he had the vision, the creative thought, and he took action. He's like the perfect example of what Hill was talking about.
He really is. It shows that anyone can tap into that creative power, regardless of their background.
Totally inspiring. And speaking of taking action in line with your values, Hill shares a personal story about a time when he was tempted to compromise his integrity while working at a coal mine. He could have lost his job, but he chose to do what he thought was right.
What happened?
He got promoted. It shows that integrity can actually lead to unexpected rewards. Sometimes doing the right thing isn't easy, but it's worth it in the long run.
It's like the universe rewarding honesty. It's proof that real character comes from those consistent actions, those tough choices, even when no one is watching.
It's the little choices that add up. So we've covered a lot. Strong character, accurate thinking, creative thought, and of course, being agreeable.
And Hill, he wouldn't let you forget about agreeableness. He talked about how it impacts other people, but also how much joy it brings. Remember that story about him driving miles just because he liked the gas station attendant?
Totally. He really valued those genuine connections.
Think about how choosing to be agreeable could change your life, your work, even your home. Like one person being kind can spread outwards and touch so many lives.
It's true. Okay, but how do we make sure we're being truly agreeable, not just faking it?
It has to be real. Hill's advice was to consciously look for the good in others. See their strengths, tell them what you admire, be sincere, shift your focus outward, see the value in people.
And make an effort to lift others up. What's cool is, Hill also says that when we praise others, it makes us feel better too. It boosts our self-esteem and makes us more grateful.
It's a win-win for everyone.
This has been such a great conversation. We've really dug into Hill's ideas about strong character, accurate thinking, creative thought, and being agreeable. But I feel like we've just scratched the surface.
There's always more to explore with Hill.
There is. We have so much more to unpack, so let's take a quick break and come back for more.
right, I'm ready for more Hill. I mean, the guy was like a walking, talking guide to a magnetic personality. Like, he really figured out how to connect with people and be successful.
He really did cover it all. And, one thing he kept coming back to, it was enthusiasm. Like, he thought it was a spark, that could get other people fired up too. Oh, I love that. And it's true. When you see someone who's really passionate, it's contagious.
Totally. Remember a time you were with someone who was just like lit up about their work or a cause? You can't help but feel their energy.
It rubs off on you for sure.
And Hill, he thought that real enthusiasm, not fake, that was the key to persuading people, to really influencing them. When you believe in what you're saying, it shows.
And people are drawn to that. Makes me think of that quote, enthusiasm is the yeast that makes your hopes rise to the stars. Okay, now I'm really feeling inspired. But you know what I'm curious about? Hill talks a lot about imagination. He even calls it the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force the world has ever known. Whoa, that's a big statement.
It is. And what's cool is how he connects it to like growing as a person, achieving things. He actually thought that when you really imagine your goals vividly, you're kind of planting the seeds for them to happen.
So it's more than daydreaming. It's like using your imagination to create your reality.
Exactly. Hill said you got to create a clear picture in your mind, what you want, even feel the emotions like you're already living it. And he thought that by doing that, you tap into this creative power that helps you get there.
Like programming your mind's GPS.
Yeah, kind of. And it makes me think of the law of attraction, like attracts like...
Oh yeah, he'll believe in that stuff.
There are definitely similarities. All that emphasis on thoughts and imagination, it lines up. But what's interesting is Hill takes it further. He says imagination's got to be paired with action. You can't just visualize. You got to do something. Like he always said, ideas are useless unless we act on them.
So it's a two-part deal. Imagine it, then make it happen.
Exactly. And that leads us to, I think, a huge part of being magnetic, being able to inspire other people to take action. Hill talked a lot about leadership, and for him, it wasn't about bossing people around. It was about making them want to follow you.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do you do that? How do you become that kind of leader?
Well, Hill thought it boiled down to a few things. One was having a clear purpose, knowing exactly what you're aiming for, and then sharing that vision with others, like you really believe it. He called it definiteness of purpose.
So no being wishy-washy. You got to be certain about your goals.
People are more likely to follow someone who knows where they're going and how to get there.
I can see that. What else did he say was important?
Self-confidence, of course. We talked about how it affects how we communicate, but it's huge for inspiring others, too.
It's like confidence is contagious.
Totally. When you believe in yourself, others are more likely to believe in you too. It builds trust and it makes people more willing to, step outside their comfort zones, take risks.
So it's projecting that inner confidence outwards. Okay, but inspiring others takes more than just confidence and a clear goal, right? What else did Hill think mattered?
Communication. It's not just about having good ideas. It's being able to explain them in a way that connects with people, gets them excited.
You have to be able to share your vision in a way that resonates, that people can get behind.
Yeah, and that goes hand in hand with, you guessed it, enthusiasm. When you're genuinely fired up about something, people pick up on that.
It's true. Okay, so we've talked about the stuff inside, the character, the confidence, the imagination. But Hill also said that outward things matter too, like how you look, how you carry yourself.
He thought how we present ourselves plays a role in how others see us.
So it's not just what's on the inside, but also how we show up in the world.
Yeah, but I think it's important to remember that Hill wasn't saying we need to be obsessed with clothes or looks. It was more about presenting the best version of ourselves, like dressing appropriately, good grooming, projecting confidence through our posture, that kind of thing.
Presenting yourself in a way that matches your goals and values.
Exactly. And he was a big believer in taking care of your physical health, too. He thought there was a strong link between being physically healthy and being mentally sharp.
So it's all connected. Your body, your mind, how you present yourself to the world.
Right. A holistic approach to being magnetic. You nurture the qualities inside, and you pay attention to how you project yourself to others.
It's like putting all the pieces together.
Exactly. Hill saw it all as connected, working together to create that powerful presence.
This has been so insightful. Hill's work is like a gold mine of advice, and it's amazing how relevant it still is today.
It's timeless wisdom, for sure. And while we've covered a lot, there's always more to dig into.
Speaking of digging in, Hill was really big on continuous learning. He was a lifelong learner himself, always seeking out new knowledge and challenging himself to grow. He believed that personal growth never really stops. It's a journey.
He was all about being curious, exploring new things, never settling for what you already know.
He even said, education comes from within. It is a matter of personal initiative. So it's not just about formal schooling. It's about that inner drive to keep learning and expanding your horizons.
Absolutely. Hill saw learning as a way to stay relevant, to adapt, to reach your full potential.
It's about having a growth mindset, seeing challenges as chances to learn and never getting complacent.
Exactly. And this idea of learning, it fits perfectly with his principle of accurate thinking.
Oh yeah, the one about being able to tell what's true from what's not, making good judgments.
Exactly. The more you learn, the better you get at thinking critically, analyzing information, and making smart choices. And today, with all the information overload we face, accurate thinking is even more important.
It's like having an inner compass that points you towards truth and wisdom.
That's a great way to put it. Hill believed that accurate thinking was the key to navigating life's complexities and achieving success no matter what you're doing.
So we have to constantly work on our ability to think clearly, to question what we believe, to get different perspectives. But honestly, that's hard. With all the distractions, the conflicting information, it's tough to stay focused and make good decisions all the time.
Oh, for sure. It's a challenge. But Hill, he had some advice for building that mental discipline. One thing he talked about a lot, it was persistence. He believed it was the key to getting through tough times and achieving anything meaningful.
It's about not giving up on your dreams, even when you hit roadblocks or get discouraged.
Exactly. He said, defeat is a state of mind. No one is ever defeated until defeat has been accepted as a reality. He believed in having that unshakable faith in yourself, knowing that you can succeed no matter what.
It's about tapping into that inner strength, that determination to keep going even when things get tough. But how do you do that? How do you stay persistent when you just feel like giving up?
Of course, we all have those moments of doubt. It's natural. But Hill had some strategies for cultivating persistence. One was having a burning desire for what you want to achieve. He believed that when you really truly want something, that desire fuels your determination and helps you push through those obstacles.
So it's about finding that passion, that fire in your belly that keeps you going even when things are hard.
Exactly. He also emphasized having a clear plan of action. When you have a roadmap for how you're going to reach your goals, you're less likely to get lost or lose motivation along the way.
It's about breaking down those big, overwhelming goals into smaller, more manageable steps, and then taking consistent action.
You got it. And Hillif also talked about the importance of surrounding yourself with positive and supportive people who believe in your vision and encourage you to keep going.
It's about having that tribe of people who cheer you on, offer guidance, and remind you of your strengths when you need it most.
Exactly. Having that support system can make all the difference. When you combine a burning desire, a clear plan, and supportive people, you create a powerful force for persistence.
It's like setting yourself up for success, both on the inside and on the outside. This is reminding me how interconnected all of Hill's principles are. It's like they build on each other. We've talked about character, self-confidence, imagination, enthusiasm, continuous learning, and now persistence. It's like a masterclass in personal growth.
It really is. And there's still more to explore. But before we move on, there's one more of Hill's principles that I think is especially relevant to our conversation: self-control.
Ah, yes, self-control. The ability to manage your emotions and impulses. Something I think we all struggle with from time to time. Why did Hill think self-control was so important for building a magnetic personality?
He saw it as the foundation for so much discipline, focus, making good choices. He thought it was essential for achieving success in any area of life.
So it's about being in control of your life, making conscious choices, and not letting your emotions run the show.
Exactly. And Hill believed that self-control was closely tied to self-confidence. When you can control your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you develop a sense of mastery, and that boosts your confidence. It empowers you to face bigger challenges.
It's like building inner strength, that resilience that helps you handle life's ups and downs with more grace and ease.
That's a great way to put it. And Hill saw self-control as a muscle. You have to develop it through practice and repetition.
So it's not something you're born with, it's something you build over time.
Yes. He suggested starting with small acts of self-discipline, like resisting temptations, sticking to a schedule, or following through on commitments. As you get better at those smaller challenges, your self-control muscle grows stronger and you're able to tackle bigger ones.
Like building momentum.
Yeah,
Those small wins give you the confidence to take on bigger challenges.
exactly. And Hill believed self-control was crucial for relationships. Think about it. When you can manage your emotions, you're less likely to overreact, say things you regret, or let your feelings control your interactions.
It all comes back to emotional intelligence.
Right. Being able to take a moment before reacting, choosing your words thoughtfully, and responding with empathy and understanding.
When you approach your interactions with that kind of awareness and control, it creates a more positive, harmonious environment.
Absolutely. And that builds trust and respect, which are essential for any strong relationship.
This idea of self-control seems to fit perfectly with being agreeable, which we talked about earlier. When you're more in control of your emotions, you're less likely to get defensive or reactive, and it's easier to connect with people.
It's true. Hill believed agreeableness was a key ingredient in persuasion and influence. When you approach others with kindness, empathy, and a willingness to listen, it makes them feel valued and respected.
It's about making people feel comfortable so they can share their thoughts and ideas freely.
Exactly. It's about creating those connections built on mutual respect and understanding.
This deep dive into Hill's ideas is really showing that building a magnetic personality is about so much more than just surface-level charm. It's about developing real depth of character, self-awareness, and mastering your thoughts, emotions, and actions. It's about becoming the best version of yourself.
You've summarized it perfectly. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination. We all stumble, make mistakes, feel discouraged sometimes. The important thing is to keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving to become the people we want to be.
It's about embracing the process, celebrating the wins along the way, and never giving up on yourself.
Exactly. And Hill believed that the rewards of this journey are incredible. When you develop a strong, positive character, it has a ripple effect that impacts your relationships, your community, even the world around you.
It's about using your influence to do good, to make a positive difference in people's lives, and to create a more harmonious world.
You've captured the essence of Hill's message perfectly.
This conversation has been so inspiring. Hill's work is a treasure chest of wisdom and guidance for anyone who wants to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life.
It truly is. And I think the best way to honor his legacy is to take his teachings to heart, apply them to our own lives, and share them with others.
To pass on that torch of wisdom and inspire others to start their own journey of personal growth.
Exactly.
Well, I'm feeling energized and ready to take on the world after this conversation. How about you? But before we get ahead of ourselves, there's one more piece of Hill's wisdom that I think deserves its own spotlight, having a positive mental attitude.
Ah, yes. That unshakable belief in the power of positive thinking. Hill was a huge advocate for that.
But how does a positive mental attitude fit into all of this, building a magnetic personality?
Hill believed our mental attitude shapes our reality. He saw it as this force that impacts everything, our thoughts, our emotions, our actions, and ultimately our outcomes in life. He famously said, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve."
So it's about cultivating that optimistic outlook, focusing on the good and believing in your ability to overcome challenges and achieve your goals. But is that just wishful thinking?
It's more than that. It's about developing a mindset that empowers you to see possibilities, to overcome obstacles, and to create the life you want. Hill believed it was a choice, a habit you build over time. He suggested focusing on your strengths, being around positive people, and practicing gratitude.
It's about taking those proactive steps to build a positive inner world and train your mind to see the good in yourself and the world around you.
Exactly. And Hill believed that a positive mental attitude wasn't just about feeling good. It was about developing a mindset that empowers you to take action, to overcome challenges, and to reach your full potential.
So it's like using positive thinking to fuel your actions and create the life you want.
Precisely. And Hill believes that a positive mental attitude was contagious. It inspires and uplifts others. When you approach life with optimism and enthusiasm, it has this ripple effect that impacts those around you.
So it's not just about personal growth and happiness, it's about making the world a brighter place.
Absolutely.
This has been such a rich conversation. Hill's work is overflowing with wisdom and practical advice.
It really is. And I think the best way to honor his legacy is to take his teachings to heart, apply them in our own lives, and share them with others.
To pay it forward and inspire others to embark on their own journey of personal growth and transformation.
You said it.
Well, this has been an incredible exploration of Hill's ideas. It feels like we've only scratched the surface.
We've covered a lot of ground, it's true. But there's always more to learn.
There is. And that brings me to another key aspect of Hill's thinking that we haven't talked about yet, self-analysis. He was a big believer in understanding yourself really deeply.
Absolutely. He considered it a fundamental step on the path to personal growth and achievement.
But why was it so important to him? Why did he emphasize self-analysis so much?
Hill thought that if you don't truly know yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, what motivates you, you're like a ship without a rudder, just drifting aimlessly. Self-analysis helps you take control, see your blind spots, challenge those limiting beliefs, and align your actions with your values.
It's like holding a mirror up to your soul, really getting to know yourself and making choices that lead to a more fulfilling life.
That's beautifully put. And Hill believed this self-analysis should be ongoing. It's not a one-time thing. It's a journey of self-discovery that keeps unfolding.
So you're always learning and growing, always refining your understanding of who you are.
Exactly. And as we do this self-discovery, Hill encouraged people to focus on finding and developing their unique talents.
He called it finding your definite chief aim, that one thing you're passionate about and good at that you can contribute to the world.
He thought that when you put your energy into your strengths, you could achieve amazing things.
It's like finding that sweet spot where your passion, your talents, and your purpose all come together, like you're tapping into your superpower.
I love that. Hill believed that operating from your strengths allows you to reach your full potential, bringing more creativity, enthusiasm, and resilience to everything you do.
You become more confident, more motivated, and more able to bounce back from setbacks.
Exactly. But he also said that you need to know your weaknesses too.
Ugh, that's the hard part. No one likes dwelling on their flaws.
Yeah.
Why did he think that was important?
He believed that when you acknowledge your weaknesses, you can figure out ways to overcome them or work around them. It's about being realistic, so you can either get better in those areas or find ways to leverage your strengths instead.
So it's not about being perfect, it's about self-awareness and using that knowledge to your advantage.
Right. And Hill also suggested getting feedback from other people to get a more objective view of your strengths and weaknesses.
It's true, sometimes it's hard to see ourselves clearly. Getting feedback, even the tough kind, can be really helpful for growth.
Absolutely. Hill believed that being open to feedback, good and bad, can give you those aha moments that help you refine your approach and become more effective in every area of life.
This whole idea of knowing yourself, your strengths and weaknesses, it ties into Hill's emphasis on building strong relationships.
You're so right. Hill truly believed our relationships are crucial to our success and happiness. He often said, you can get everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want.
So it's about building those win-win relationships where everyone benefits, not just focusing on what we can get from others.
Exactly. And he believed that building those strong relationships takes certain qualities like empathy, generosity, and a genuine willingness to help others. He talked about having a service-oriented mindset, focusing on how you can contribute to the well-being of others.
It creates that positive cycle where everyone wins.
You've got it. And Hill believed that strong relationships give you support, encouragement, and valuable insights that you wouldn't get otherwise.
He often said to surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and keep you accountable.
He called it building a mastermind group, a network of like-minded people who share your values, support your goals, and help you grow.
It's like having a team of cheerleaders, mentors, and trusted advisors all rolled into one.
I love that analogy. Hill believed that this kind of supportive network was essential for navigating the challenges and opportunities of life.
It's realizing you don't have to go it alone. You can achieve so much more when you work together and support each other.
Absolutely. And Hill emphasized that it's important to nurture those relationships too, to show appreciation for the people in your life and be there for them when they need you.
It's about those reciprocal relationships where everyone gives and receives support, encouragement, and love.
Beautifully said.
As we've been exploring Hill's ideas, it's become clear that a magnetic personality is about way more than just surface charm.
It really is about developing a rich inner world full of positive qualities, strong character, and a deep understanding of yourself. It's about having a growth mindset, always learning and surrounding yourself with people who inspire and support you.
You've summed it up perfectly. And Hill truly believed that when you live by these principles, you unlock your full potential, not just for your own success, but for making the world a better place. It's about becoming the best version of yourself so you can contribute to something bigger than yourself.
It's a powerful message.
This conversation has been so incredible. We've really dug into Hill's philosophy and uncovered those secrets of a truly magnetic personality.
It's been a joy to share this exploration with you.
And I want to thank our listeners for joining us on this journey. We hope you found this as insightful and inspiring as we have. But before we go, there's one more piece of Hill's wisdom that I think deserves our attention: the importance of a positive mental attitude.
Ah, yes. That unwavering belief in the power of positive thinking. It was so central to Hill's philosophy.
But how does a positive mental attitude fit into this bigger picture of building a magnetic personality?
Hill believed that our mental attitude shapes our reality. He saw it as a powerful force that influences everything: our thoughts, emotions, actions, and ultimately our results in life. He famously said, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve."
So it's about being optimistic, focusing on the good, and believing you can overcome challenges and achieve your goals.
Exactly. Hill believed that a positive mental attitude was a magnet for success, happiness, and fulfillment. He didn't see it as just wishful thinking, but about developing a mindset that empowers you to see possibilities, overcome obstacles, and create the life you want.
But how do you develop that kind of mindset? Are you born with it, or can you learn it?
Hill believed it was a conscious choice, a habit you cultivate over time. He suggested things like focusing on your strengths, being around positive people, and practicing gratitude.
So it's about taking steps to create a positive inner world. Focus on things that uplift you, and train your mind to see the good in yourself and the world around you.
Exactly. And Hill didn't think a positive mental attitude was just about feeling good. It was about developing a mindset that helps you take action, overcome adversity, and achieve your full potential.
So it's using the power of positive thinking to fuel your actions and create the life you want.
Precisely. And Hill believed that a positive mental attitude was contagious. It inspires and uplifts others. When you approach life with optimism and enthusiasm, it has this ripple effect that impacts those around you.
It's not just about your own growth and happiness, it's about making the world a better place.
Absolutely. And I think that's a beautiful note to leave our listeners with.
It is. This conversation has been so insightful and thought-provoking. I feel incredibly inspired by Hill's wisdom and his belief in the power we all have within us.
Me too. And I hope our listeners feel inspired to start their own journey of personal growth and discover their own incredible potential.
I think they will. This has been such an amazing deep dive. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
It's been my pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you for being here with us today. We hope you found this deep dive into Napoleon Hill's philosophy as insightful and inspiring as we have. Remember, you have the power within you to create a life filled with purpose, meaning, and joy. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving to become the best version of yourself. We'll be back next week with another deep dive into a fascinating topic. Until then, keep those good vibes flowing. It's amazing how, even after all this time, Hill's ideas still feel so fresh and relevant. It's like he had this timeless understanding of human nature.
He really did, didn't he? That belief in our potential is something we all connect with, I think.
And one thing that Hill kept coming back to was self-control. He saw it as the key to success in every part of life, the foundation for discipline, for being able to focus, for making smart choices.
It's true. He believed that having self-control was linked to self-confidence. When you're able to manage your thoughts and emotions, your actions, you gain this sense of mastery that just naturally boosts your confidence.
It's like building that inner strength that helps you handle whatever life throws at you. But let's be real, self-control, it's not easy. We all have those moments where we give in to temptation.
Oh, absolutely. It's a constant practice, a muscle you have to keep working on. Hill believed that even small, consistent efforts could make a big difference. Like sticking to a schedule, resisting those little temptations, keeping your promises.
So those small wins add up over time, right?
Yeah.
They build momentum, gain confidence, and then you can tackle those bigger challenges.
Right. And Hill also thought self-control was super important for relationships. Think about it. When you're able to manage your emotions, you're less likely to overreact, say things you'll regret, or let your feelings control how you interact with people.
It goes back to that emotional intelligence we talked about.
Exactly. Being able to pause before reacting, to choose your words carefully, and to respond with empathy, it makes a huge difference.
It creates a much more positive, peaceful environment where people feel safe and respected. And that builds trust, which is essential for any strong relationship.
It is. And this whole idea of self-control, it really connects with that principle of being agreeable that we discussed earlier.
It's true. When you're in control of your emotions, you're less likely to be defensive or reactive, which makes it easier to connect with people.
Hill thought agreeableness was a major factor in persuasion and influence. When you approach people with kindness, with empathy, and really listen to them, they're much more open to what you have to say.
It's about building bridges instead of walls, connecting with people on a deeper level.
He believed it was much more effective than trying to force your opinions on people or manipulate them.
It's about creating those win-win situations where everyone feels heard and valued.
You got it.
You know, one of the things that stands out to me about Hill's work is that building a magnetic personality isn't about using tricks or techniques. It's about genuinely developing your character and self-awareness.
He really emphasized that inner work, those positive qualities, understanding your strengths and weaknesses, and being intentional about what you think and do.
And he talked about the importance of being around the right people, those who inspire you, challenge you, and help you grow.
He talked about creating a mastermind group, a network of people who share your values and can offer guidance and support.
It's about tapping into that collective wisdom, realizing you don't have to figure everything out on your own.
Exactly. And Hill thought this kind of network was so important for navigating life's challenges, knowing you have people who have your back.
It's about having those people who believe in you, even when you don't believe in yourself, who push you to be your best.
That's a great way to put it.
As we wrap up this deep dive into Napoleon Hill, what strikes me is how optimistic his message is. He believed that each of us has the power to achieve amazing things, not just for ourselves, but for the world.
A message of hope and empowerment.
And for me, that's the biggest takeaway, that we all have that power within us to create the life we want and make a positive impact.
What a great way to end our discussion.
It has been such a pleasure exploring Hill's ideas with you today. I've learned so much.
The feeling is mutual. I've really enjoyed this conversation.
And to all of you listening, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into Napoleon Hill's philosophy. We hope you found it as insightful and inspiring as we have. Remember, you have the power within you to create a life filled with meaning, purpose, and joy. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving to become the best version of yourself. We'll be back next week with another deep dive into a fascinating topic. Until then, keep those positive vibes flowing.